So it's the Guineas this weekend at Newmarket, and this is one of the days of the year that I will trade Saturday and Sunday, and that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. Please like and comment on the video below. That will allow me to produce better quality videos and more of them in the future. So it's the Newmarket Guineas meeting this weekend, and I remember this for a number of reasons, but one of the primary reasons I remember the Guineas meeting is it's the same weekend as the Berkshire Hathaway AGM. And that was a dilemma for me when I first started trading, because I used to attend the AGM on a regular basis, but I subsequently dropped it in order to focus on the Guineas meeting. And in fact, I must reverse that situation in future years before it's too late, before that piece of history slips into the background. But generally, the Guineas meeting is pretty good. It seems to perform okay on Betfair and BetDAC. There's plenty of liquidity, and the feature races are obviously the key element of that particular meeting. So on the Saturday we have the 2,000 guineas, and on the Sunday we have the 1,000 guineas. And the Guineas meeting is for colts and fillies, 3-year-old colts and fillies, and as a consequence you tend to get emerging stars come out of this. So on the Saturday you've got the colts, and on the Sunday you've got the fillies. And the one race that everybody remembers is when Frankel ran and absolutely demolished the field, and everybody knew that a superstar was born at that particular point. So yeah, you know, you've got the two big races on the Saturday and the Sunday, and then there's a mixture of stuff in and around the entire meeting. I must admit that generally, you know, it sort of blows hot and cold for me. Some of it can depend upon what the field looks like, what types of horses are in there, whether they're rated or not, and it's you know, some years I've done fantastically well and other years I haven't done so well. But generally it's a meeting where, especially on the 2,000 guineas, I would be expecting to get multiple hundreds out of that particular race, and I will spend a bit of time focusing on that and probably dropping a few other things just to put some attention into that, because I know if I do a good job I will get a good total. In 2015, so 2 years ago, including this year, which I haven't done yet, I had a £1,000 race, and that was thanks to, I'm trying to remember, Gleneagles was the horse. Very unusual scenario we had on the race that year, but yeah, 2015 was the last time that I managed to get a £1,000 race at the Guineas meeting. Sometimes, curiously enough, it may not occur on the feature race, it may occur on another race, but I remember 2015 very well because of the price movement on Gleneagles. The chart was quite unusual, but it started off with a big drift, and then a bit of backing came in, and it was sort of all over the place. But catching the drift was generally what I managed to achieve that year. But I think if you look at the biggest day that I've ever had was in 2010. I haven't beaten that since then. So, but the trouble you tend to have with records is you need everything to coincide. So, you know, it needs to be a series of good races, you need to be trading well, the markets need to line up, the liquidity needs to be about right. And when all of those things drop into place, you have a spectacular day. I don't know if that day would occur this year, but I would be disappointed not to get a decent total out of it. But when you get a really big day, a record day at a particular meeting, it tends to be a coincidence of many things all lining up at once and you doing a really great job at it. So those big days tend to occur infrequently. However, the meeting itself I would expect to be above average, and I will be really disappointed if I don't get a decent total out of one of those races, and that my overall total isn't too bad as well. But it was 2010 was the last time I did an absolutely ridiculous job of the meeting, and that year it was St Nicholas Abbey was the big horse in the race that produced a major opportunity on that particular race. I remember that really well. But generally the meeting itself can blow a bit hot and cold. I haven't looked in detail at the card yet or other races in and around it, but if it lines up well, then it's a meeting that I should expect to do well at. And it seems to perform equally well on Betfair and BetDAC, and generally the fuss and excitement around the first classic of the season generates a lot of interest, and it should be a good meeting to do. So yeah, this video I just wanted to highlight that opportunity to you. there will be plenty of opportunities. We're in this period now where we've transitioned away from the jumps. It's purely flat. There are a lot of younger horses out there, or improvers from last year. So the thing that you tend to see in the markets is much stronger and bigger moves. They tend to occur much bigger and deeper at this particular time of the year. And we've seen that already this week. And I would expect that to continue for a little while the form lines begin to strengthen on a number of these horses. So that's what it feels like at this time of year. The Guineas is the first major classic of the season. It's worth your attention, and hopefully you and I can have a decent weekend this weekend. You may need to work up some brownie points if you want to trade on Sunday. And Sunday is much weaker than Saturday, but it's still a fairly decent day and worth a crack if you have the opportunity to do it. So that's what we've got to look forward to this weekend.